There we go. So my name is Tony Sova. I am the founder and CEO of Softwired. I started the agency 18 years ago with the purpose of finding new technologies to help businesses. So this is a lunch and learn. There's nothing about Softwired for the first part of the presentation. This is just to learn about AI technology and what we've adopted so far into our software. We've basically have developed a platform that uses new technologies for businesses. And so because of the technology and the rapid pace of change that is happening, we are at breakneck speed. We're doing these weekly. We have these just to teach people about the technology and ways that we can help you use the technology for your business. So a lot of people have already heard about ChatGPT and different types of AI tools. And as that has evolved, then now we have more robust systems that we can use and we can adopt for our business processes. And so what I'll be doing is I'm going to present the tools, and then then we'll do a little Q&A afterwards. And then if you're interested, we are going to have an offer at the end and a presentation, a very brief presentation about the software. But there's nothing about Softwired in the first part of this presentation, so we're going to go ahead and get started now. I was expecting a few more people, so we're going to just we're going to begin now, and then we will see if they show up. All right. So this is what we're calling the season of AI. I want to make sure everybody can see my screen, that you can see the season of AI. We have a 6-bot AI tool. So we're calling it AI Employee right now. This is just the dashboard of the software. So the 6 components that we have managed, that we've been integrated, are the voice AI. So if you there are replay recordings of that demonstration. That one was last week. Conversational AI. So voice AI actually will answer your business phone number for you. And so the demo I did yesterday went pretty well. Welcome, Kelly. Your late arrival. We're getting started. And so nice to meet you too. So the voice AI, this is the 6-bot AI employee system. Voice AI answers the phone for your business, so you never miss a call. So in this fast-moving world, we want to make sure that we don't miss any calls and we don't miss any opportunities for a potential customer. Conversational AI is when the AI can interface to conversations through text messaging, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, or WhatsApp. It engages customers and answers questions and helps book appointments instantly, all happening in the background without any input from you directly. Reviews AI. Reviews are huge. There's another presentation or another replay. I will put that YouTube channel link in the chat a little bit later, so you can watch those replays later. The quicker that you respond to the reviews, the better. And if you're a company that has a lot of reviews happening, then it can be a little bit of a delay to respond to those reviews. Funnel AI just came out. It's more experimental, but it will design a funnel, a one-page landing page funnel for your business, and that can accelerate the process because it's an advanced tool compared to what we typically use, which is a template and having to repopulate all the content. So it's a faster process. Content AI, that's the suggestive content that we can do for social posting, for blog posts, those kinds of things. For literally, that is what ChatGPT started out as. And then the workflow AI assistant, that's where the real power comes in. The automated workflows really are a powerful tool, very complex, and the hardest part of all of it is just that is being able to know how to build those workflows. So having an AI do it, tell you how to do it, is a game changer. So we'll go a little deeper into these 6 different elements. And I'll start with the voice AI. So the demo we did last week, once we set these up as AI agents, then you can create as many as you want, and I'll just sort of show how we did it here for our inbound calls. So you have a choice between different types of voices. There's more added than I previously saw before. And the voice that you could pick, and you can listen to it here. So you can kind of listen to different voices.
Let us always meet each other with smile, for the smile is the beginning of love.
Kind of pick whatever you like. And then any inbound call here will answer for you. Now the agent goals, this is a prompt that we set up, and we tell it the actions that we want it to do. So if it's call transfer, trigger automations, which is more advanced, but most of the time we're just sending a text message or something else to follow up. We set up the prompt here. We get the information on how we want it to answer, and then it knows how to answer. And you have the phone and availability as well. So that's the voice AI, works really well and pretty easy to set up. Conversational AI, this is the bots that we set up for booking. So if anybody is communicating via the chat widget or some other text form, then this is the SMS, this is the chat widget, this is the live chat, Google Business Profile, Facebook, and Instagram. And then to train, we go through a series of trainings, so you can test your bot here. You can ask it questions. If it doesn't answer correctly, I was actually doing some tweaks on our bot responses this morning, and we were getting, because it was picking information from a different website than I wanted it to, but to train your bot, and we do this for all of the different bots, we tell it what to what information to digest, and then it knows more about your business, and it's not a generic response like you would get with just a generic chat GPT. So that then we have hold on, back to where we were. So reviews AI, so that was conversation AI, where the bots will text and communicate through those different channels. Reviews AI, so this is where once you have your reviews set up and you are using the review tool, then you can set it to auto response, or you can have it just be suggestive or turned off. So we have ours to auto respond on all of the different ways of communicating with people. And so if somebody does leave us a review, then it does automatically respond for us. Looks like somebody else is coming in. And welcome. Okay, we got somebody else, Andre, and we're halfway through the first part of the presentation, which is just the AI employee and the 6 bot system. So voice AI, conversational AI, reviews AI, and now funnels AI, where the funnel will automatically be built for you if we just create a new funnel. And we're going to use the AI funnel, and we just give it some information, and it will automatically generate a funnel for you. I am still working on the results a little bit, getting some more information from developers on some of the results that we're seeing, but just to know that that's been rolled out in past beta. And then the 5th bot is content AI. So this is and I use this a lot, and I use this a lot for this type of webinar to send out through all of your different social media posts. So if you format a post here, you're going to create a new post. And what I'm going to do is select all of my social accounts in this particular account. And then what's going to help me do is come up with some ideas for a topic that I want to post to social media. So I'm going to generate with AI, and I'm going to call it results. Feedback on AI employee. And then you just give it a brief description. Tell my followers about the great experience in the AI employee webinar. And I'm going to put AI employee webinar. And I kind of like the excited tone. Just a short post, maybe 2 variations, and boom, I'll see what it says. Thinking for a minute. And then, so amazing news, folks, just attended an AI employee webinar, was mind-blowing, the sites and potential, blah, blah, blah. So you can kind of pick one that you like and then just copy it in. And then, so this is really helpful for accelerating social media because it is a little bit time consuming, cumbersome, a little bit of a bottleneck to post on social media. We all forget about it. We don't really continue doing it. We might do it for a little while. Somebody might be assigned that job, but then that person leaves or something happens and then it just gets forgotten about. So for local business, social media is critical. So back to the final bot of the 6-bot system is the workflow AI assistant. This is my new favorite toy, and trying not to spend too much time in here, but these are automated workflows that are very sophisticated to automate processes and be able to any kind of tasks that you're currently doing repetitively. So for example, if you are, putting out estimates for some type of work, and you're always emailing that estimate, or you're doing something over and over again for anybody in your sales pipeline, then you want to automate those processes when you can. So the AI can actually help you with this process. I'm going to assist with building this workflow. So there's going to be a trigger, and I'm going to say, someone filled out my contact form. So so it's making suggestions on what happens when I have a trigger on somebody filled out a contact form, so I can send an SMS message here, and it pulls up the information that I just fill out. And then if I want to do a task notification, I pick that, and then I fill that out, and then add a contact tag to the record. And then I can just quickly and very rapidly build these workflows, which quite honestly were very time consuming to do by hand. So it's a big update for this part. It does take, there is a bit of a learning curve. I'm warning you, it's the last thing that we do when we're onboarding clients, but this is exciting to see this rolled out. All right, so that is the 6-bot system. If anybody has any questions, this is a good time to pause. There's a lot of information that was been shared in the last 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes. And so feel free, don't be shy, come on camera, ask if you have any questions or any specifics about the tool. Hey, Rick. Nice to meet you. You're still on mute. There you go.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There.
No, I mean, for me, it's all, I know AI, it's kind of all new, so I'm just probably digesting all the information that you're giving out right now as
Okay.
talked about it individually and all of that. And it's quite fascinating, basically. So until I get kind of the hang of it, and probably then I'll have more detailed questions.
Okay,
So yeah,
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
it's, I think the key difference is that our job is to simplify the technology and make it usable for people in their business, because as a business
Right.
owner, you know your business, and you don't necessarily know the technology, and it's our job to bring it to people. And that's our main goal, is to empower your business to be able to benefit from these technologies.
So as you mentioned earlier, now we are talking about these 6 parts of one, package. And were
Mhm.
you doing a webinar on each of them before? Or are you going to be doing some webinar on each box?
Correct. Yes, some of those have already been done. I did a webinar, I did a lunch and learn on voice AI last week. And then the whole system came out just in the last couple of weeks at This Way. And so we jumped through into the whole system, and then there will be more detailed lunch and learns about each individual bot. So
Okay.
yeah, it's very, I like to spend about 15 minutes on one topic. This is a little bit different because it's a more of an overall kind of tool of all the 6 parts of it. But that's
Yeah.
the idea, yeah.
Because I think what I'm trying to grasp right now is how all of them fit into one picture. And right now, for me, it's like a shotgun effect. So I'm probably going to pick one first, how they're related, and kind of better
Sure.
understand how everything works together.
Yep, yep. Yeah, there's a lot here. The platform is very robust, and when we do demonstrations and a demo of the platform itself and the tools, we do spend quite a bit of time. In fact, that's something I talk a little bit about for people that want to stick around after this part of the demonstration, is that I'll talk a little bit more about Softwired and what that looks like, and how we help you learn how to use these tools.
I can give some input too, and I have a question.
Okay.
I've been working with Tony for a couple years, and we've implemented some of this AI. And the AI that I've loved the most is the workflow AI assistant. Because once you get your CRM set up and you get your potential clients in there, for instance, we use it when someone we have a roofing company, and when someone fills out their request for a bid and it comes into our system, they automatically get an email saying, "Thank you for contacting us. We'll be in touch with you shortly." So then
Right.
that takes it off me to have to call the person back to let them know that we received their bid, because my husband Tony's the one who talks with them, and he's already busy enough. So just being able to automatically send out a "thanks for contacting us" is great. And then the other thing that we use it for is, once I move somebody in the workflow to paid, it automatically generates a review request to go out to that person. Before, I was manually doing the review request. Every time someone paid, I'd send them an email requesting a review. I don't have to do that anymore. Those 2 things were huge as far as time savers and communication ability with the clients.
Yeah, that's great feedback, Angie. And you are a great client, early adopter, and an advanced power user as far as what I've seen so far. Appreciate that feedback. Really great to hear that we don't necessarily know what's going on with every client and how far they're going, but we do want to keep that process going, to continually educate, and even after the onboarding process, to continually have these lunch and learn educational, because the technology is continually evolving. There's new tools, and so if you have any questions, get a hold of me directly. Happy to meet with you. I think we are meeting one-on-one, but we can schedule that whenever. Okay.
That's good to hear. Thanks, Angie, for that feedback.
Any other questions?
AI is awesome for doing all the social media posts because you can't think of what to put. It's so
Yeah.
awesome. You just put it in there and it spits it out in a second. You grab a picture, you don't grab a picture, and it took my social media post time down to minutes.
Great feedback there too. So it sounds like you're using almost all of the bots, reviews, conversation. Not sure where you are, but let's revisit that. Make sure that you're right where you need to be. If you do have everything on autopilot, because there is the option of having everything suggestive or just in the back end. So that's kind of how we start, and then we make sure the bot has been trained and will respond appropriately. And then as the bot gets better and better, then that's when we turn on the autopilot. All right, anybody else? Any other questions about the tool?
Good here.
Okay, I am going to switch gears a little bit, and I'm going to launch into a little bit about Softwired. I think if Angie's the only current client, so she's probably already seen this. But I'm going to just describe what Softwired is and kind of showcase the how the software works. So I'm going to switch gears right now, and I'll make sure I got the right page. Let me pull up the page. I thought I had it bookmarked here. So this is our funnel for the software we offer to clients. In the past, Softwired was a typical digital marketing agency that did done-for-you services like social media posting, building websites, SEO, all kinds of different, what you would normally expect from a digital marketing agency. Over the last couple of years, we've completely done a pivot, and now our approach is really just done with you with the software. So instead of paying another agency or business to do work for you, which you don't have any control of, and you have mediocre results, we want you to get trained and learn how to use this tool. And we actually spend a lot of time up front in the training and onboarding and constant education, like these lunch and learns. So some of the key points that just to revisit, the speed to lead is really critical for making sure you don't lose opportunities. That's what the AI does. So if you can't answer the phone, it'll answer for you. If you get a text from the chat widget down here and you're not available to answer it, it'll do it for you. So it fills in the gap, and that's how you don't lose opportunities. And so and that's been a game changer for us and for clients. There is hundreds of features in the platform. I'm just going to talk about a few key ones right here, but it makes it doubles the speed to lead using AI, just as we demonstrated. The AI can actually book calls on your calendar if you like. You don't have to just try to intervene or reply to people. The AI can be trained to access your calendar and sync with your Outlook or Google Calendar or whatever you're using, and it can do it. It can do it for you. The automations are really the key. That's what Angie was just describing, is just automating those mechanical processes in your business, whether it's you or staff, and then having KPI reports that really show you where you are in your business, what is the monetary value of the leads coming in, how much value do you have in your pipeline. If you're running ads, what is your cost per acquisition? What is your ad spend? So all of it together in the dashboard is available for you to see and make informed decisions on how your business is operating. Because if you don't know your numbers, we all know what happens there. It comes back and bites you. Lots of different features, more here on this funnel. I will share this funnel in the chat after we get through just a couple of key points and what differentiates Softwired from another software company is that we, as an agency, are not just a pure SaaS company. Our success has been built on the the success of our clients. So the get started plans are here. They're bundled in a way to fit with the type and size of the business that you have. If you're just starting out and you just need some basic, the tip of the iceberg kind of features for communication, then those, if if you're a business owner or if you know someone that's just getting started out, then we can get them started on the starter and they can learn as they go. And then we're actually adding in websites in that starter plan, so that you have a simple website and a way to communicate. The pro version is where people usually start at. They usually are this is all the CRM functions. So customer relationship management functions in here. So social media planner, the calendars that we were talking about, the pipelines, which are opportunities, email marketing. We assist you with all of those things. We do it with you. We're not do it for you, as I said. You have unlimited funnels, unlimited websites, unlimited contacts, unlimited workflows. Communities are all part of that package. It's a very affordable package. If I was going to compare it to HubSpot, it would be about 1/10 the cost, and they don't even provide the support that we do for you. The scale plan, which is more advanced and has more of the AI training, integrations, advanced workflows, triggers, lots of more ramping and more onboarding tasks to get that done. But we want to have everything. The goal is to have your AI trained, your AI to be able to communicate well and not have to fumble around and try to figure it out yourself. The big difference between Softwired and practically every other software company that I've found is that we do white glove onboarding. That is, if you were going to use HubSpot, it would be $3,000 just for that setup. Our goal is to get the first 30 days to show your success. We want to have 4 one-on-one meetings with me. So that is actually the coaching part. In the first 4 weeks, we're going to have 1-hour meetings, and you're gonna meet with me directly and and learn more about your business. We move very fast in the setup and all of the different configurations that are going to make it accelerate much faster, because I can tell you that onboarding systems for software typically are not very easy to get through, and they're not very helpful in that process. And we just give you, we help you with your first sales funnel, so you have a lead gen, a lead magnet, place for people to convert, and then ongoing training. There is small usage charges if you use a massive amount of things like emails or AI tokens. There are it's very small, and we give you some credit. So usually people don't start hitting any kind of usage charges until they've had thousands of emails going out or hundreds of AI communications. Anybody have any questions on the tool itself? And then the next step is I'm going to show you it is Black Friday, Cyber Monday, 'tis the season, and we have a deal. And so if anybody doesn't have do you have any questions, Rick, or anybody else so far? Okay. I just want to make sure it's very seamless to understand what we are offering and how that really appears. So the deal that we have right now, it's not advertised, but this is our Black Friday once in a lifetime offer. We're going to give you 50% off all plans. Where the value comes in is if you prepay for the year, and we're only doing 5 new accounts at this level because that's our capacity. Our full package deal is $499 a month. It comes out to almost $6,000 normally per year. But with this 50% discount, you would get 50% off that prepaid for the year if you want to go all in. If you're comfortable enough and you're incentivized and you think this is it, this is what I've been waiting for, then I highly recommend that you sign up for that plan. The offer will go out after this webinar. I will broadcast the Cyber Monday on the main funnel website. And we are we're particular about who we work with. So when you sign up and everybody on this call has met somebody or talked to somebody, you're all already eligible for that offer. If anybody wants to sign up right now. So the mission statement that we've kind of put together recently is we work with your business to empower you to grow and learn. We do not sell done for you marketing agency services, I won't say anymore. We improve efficiency to increase your profit. We adopt new technologies that benefit your business, and we deliver world-class education and support. Okay, so how do I get the deal? I'm going to put the link to the SaaS funnel in the chat. And when you go to this page and you click on any of the red buttons to buy now, it will come up with a two-step order form. The first part is just your information, which I already filled out. The second part is to fill in this coupon code, and the code is Black Friday, Cyber Monday, like everybody else has, pretty similar. So if you type here, if you want to go, these are the different levels, and the free trials are going to go away after this call, or after this season, just because that was for this particular early stage year. So Black Friday, Cyber Monday, apply, and should get your discount. And so you can see that you get the full package and the full bundle and everything for $24.95. And really there's no expiration other than the fact that there's only 5 slots for that particular offer. So any questions on that? You should have, does everybody have access to the link in the chat, and you can access the funnel and look at everything yourself? I'll hang out here if anybody has any other questions or is in the process of signing up. You're probably having questions if you are ready to purchase. Okay, no questions. All right, well, we'll just go ahead and you can look at it yourself. And I think there was another link that I was going to send you guys. Do you guys remember what that was? It's just the funnel SaaS, and the offer is pretty clear. So and I'll put the Black Friday, Cyber Monday discount code right there. All right, and that should do it. I'll go ahead.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
Because I've been a client, and Tony didn't know I was showing up to this meeting or asked me to say anything, but the reason why I decided to sign up for these services is I compared it to my time cost and my employees' time cost to do these things. And especially with the CRM and the workflow, the price is totally worth it. When you think about hiring, like for us, a project manager, having a CRM with a workflow that you can manage fairly easily is a lot less than a project manager. And that's how I've been using the CRM. And
Right.
at this scale of our business, it's worked well. If we got, much bigger, maybe we'd need to hire a project manager, but the small business that we are, the CRM really helps things stay organized so that we can manage our projects without having to hire somebody, and especially like responding to clients, getting reviews, doing the social media stuff, keeping track of where people are at the stages of sales. It's been really helpful.
Well, that's great feedback, Angie, and something that I've just learned. We've talked a lot, we've had a lot of meetings, but it's really good to have that reinforcement and know that that the tool is helpful for you and helping your business grow. You are a very good example of how someone can really use the tool effectively to and the thing too to remember is that it's not just necessarily about generating more leads or getting more sales, but it's also improving your operations. And I think that's what you were talking about, Angie, is just like
Yeah,
by streamlining your operations, by using AI technology to help with that in an easy to way, in a more effective way, then you're staying up with the current trend, the technology trends, because eventually there's your competitors and other people are going to start adopting these things, and you'll start to kind of fall behind. And so it's a matter of whether you want to start now and do it prior to 2025. We're talking to people because the key the 30-day fast track for success is a lot of effort on our part. We want to make that happen before the end of the year. So the window is closing for getting that done. If we start now, we start your first onboarding. So if you purchase now, and then you'll get it'll take you to the next screen to book a call, and then we'll set up your first onboarding call next week at your convenience, and where I can meet with you directly. And then as you will figure out the next three or four meetings, and so you'll be able to be all set up and operational within that first 3 to 4 weeks. And then you'll be ready to go in January. So any questions on the software, any of our processes, anything else?
No, I'm all good, but I'm
Okay.
gonna kind of digest all this and see, because I'm just a one-man show. I am interested, so I have to see. I won't be able to sign up right now, but I
Okay.
have to see which one would benefit me on this and then go from there.
All right.
Right.
Well, that's good. That's good information, Rick. You know, even for smaller solarpreneurs and one man shows, that's even more of a reason to use the tools, because
I know.
we're not huge here. There's less
No,
than 10 employees, and
I'm trying to see now. I'm gonna compare the starter with the pro,
okay.
see where I am, and then probably start with something and then upgrade slowly, as you grow.
Okay.
So I don't even know what I need yet. So
Well, I think there's a saying, you don't know what you need until you
yeah, you're right.
get it, right? Like
That's true.
that's the hard part, because when we're talking to business owners, the hardest part is trying to describe what we're doing, because it's not what other people are doing. It's
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you talk to other agencies, they're going to do marketing services for you. They're going to do
Mhm.
SEO. They're going to build websites. They're going to do social media. They don't have this, and
Yeah.
so that's been our hardest hurdle, and that's why we're doing these lunch and learns. We'll continue to do them. We're going to do another lunch and learn next week at this time. I'll most likely pick one of those topics.
Sure.
And then Monday will be our Cyber Monday deal. That'll be when it's broadcast out to the public, and we're advertising it for everybody else. But really appreciate everybody that made the effort to show up here.
Okay.
If you have my personal email, it should be tony@softwiredweb.com. I'm going to put my own cell number in here. You can reach me directly, 815-1995. So I'm accessible during business hours. Now, I will say that the rest of the afternoon is pretty much time to get the turkey ready. So I'll be in and out of
Yeah.
the office for the rest of the day and closed on Friday, but we're all, I've got 15 people showing up here tomorrow. So I got to get going. I appreciate y'all. Please send me any information you have, or any questions you have, or anything you need. So looking forward to seeing you again, and appreciate everybody for coming. And